ain't never went in that girl's house. None of that shit. I didn't do that shit. I didn't. As God is my witness, I did not do it.
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you much.
Okay, there you go.
Welcome back, you sexy savages, and today we're going to talk about the legend of Jeff. Our story takes place with Mr. Jeffery Pearson, an unfortunate heroin addict who was arrested in the state of Georgia on suspicion of committing an armed robbery. Now, most people would just write Jeff off as another dope fiend who was doing whatever he could to get his fucking fix, and he didn't care who he harmed or who he robbed from in order to do it, and we would assume him guilty without even asking him if he was guilty or not. But luckily for Jeff, we live in the United States of America, baby, where we have a little thing that most of you bastards take for granted called due process. One of the aspects of due process is the police do have the right to question you in order to gather evidence for their investigation against you. Now, for most people who've been charged and accused of a felonious crime, a police interview can be deemed as a nail in the coffin because people have a bad way of slipping up with their words and incriminating themselves by accident, which is why you always have the right to terminate the interview, you always have the right to have an attorney present, and as most attorneys would tell you,
you need to shut the fuck up.
So on the night of his arrest, the police decide to interview Jeff, to ask him some questions and see if they could gather evidence linking him to said robbery. And I can tell you right now, those police were like, oh boy, we just got a stupid white trash junkie who's gonna stumble over his words, he's gonna incriminate himself in no time, slam dunk, until they started interviewing him.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
So like I said, I need to read your rights first. Robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? Do you understand?
We're getting paid more than you are, so we can sit here for a long time, man.
I just need you to answer me yes or no. Do you understand your rights? Let's get through that question. Do you understand what I read you? Do you comprehend what I read you?
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
Do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you, motherfucker.
Okay, there you go. You change your mind, you want to talk to us?
Yeah.
So right there's where the story should end. Jeff said, I'm not talking, fuck you guys, I want a lawyer. Cop said, okay. They send him back to the holding cell, there's nothing they can do. But then after a few hours of sitting in that holding cell, Jeff approaches the police and says, I would like to talk again, but only if I can get a Coke. Not that kind of Coke.
You want a Coke? You gonna be able to pop it open or you need me to?
Now, unfortunately for Jeff, this is the part of the story where things start to get worse for him. Not any legal trouble, but as I mentioned earlier, Jeff is in fact a heroin addict. And what happens when dope fiends don't get their dope? They withdraw. And as anyone who was ever unfortunate enough to dance with Mr. Brownstone can tell you, withdrawals from heroin are a fucking nightmare, especially withdrawing while you're locked up in jail.
I need methadone.
You need methadone? I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or? What do you need methadone for?
I'm a fucking junkie, and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
How long have you been using heroin?
Long time.
Said. Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah, right? I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I don't
not
have nothing. I don't
the
talk to the police, man.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it
you
works.
have. I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or
I'm not trying to get you.
All you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not gonna get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I didn't do nothing.
I'm not trying to get a confession.
I didn't commit no armed robbery. And y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside. There are cops everywhere. And they spotlight me. They say, come here. I say, what's up?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
Bruh, didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handed the Miranda decision of the Supreme Court of the United States.
You already read it to me earlier.
I know we did, but I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the tip.
You're welcome. Before we, you understand the rights I'm responding to.
Oh,
Huh?
yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. Ignore you.
All right. I don't understand that. What changed?
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I? Obviously, I didn't do nothing. And obviously, you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before, and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke, put me back in the cell. That's my home.
So once again, the interview is over, and that's where the story should end. So after he said, I want a lawyer, Jeff was sent back to his cell for another 5 hours while withdrawing from heroin. This poor bastard was still in jail, still withdrawing for 5 hours with nothing to help him out. No Suboxone, no methadone, nothing but bars, a bed, and a toilet. And also something very important I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, Jeff is on parole. And unfortunately for Jeff, he was informed somewhere in this 5 hour period by the cops that because of his robbery charge, he was going to be slapped with a parole violation. So hearing that grim news, Jeff said he wanted to talk again. But this time, he wants a Coke and a Butterfinger. So the cops drag him out of his cell again, read him his rights again.
I know we did this twice, but I gotta do it again every time, okay? So you right to remain silent, anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to the lawyer.
And this time they're thinking, maybe now that he's been informed that he's been hit with a parole violation, plus withdrawing, plus a felony charge, maybe now we can get him to talk a little bit. And the cops, in their infinite wisdom, are thinking, yeah, we got him now. Any second now, he's gonna break. While the whole time Jeff is thinking, all I gotta do is just keep telling them I want to talk, and they're gonna keep giving me free Cokes.
There's that fairy tale.
It's coming. He's getting there right now. He'll be here in about 2 minutes. Just watch the sewing sheet. Good work. Tastes good.
Mm-hmm. There's no way. I didn't do it. There's no way.
How drunk were you? Were you drunk?
No, I was pretty sober.
So you're in your right mind. You remember everything about the night, right? So you couldn't have done something not remembered. You couldn't have gone and robbed the place and not remembered?
No.
Okay, so you would remember if you robbed the place. Why don't we just talk about the gun and start there? Yeah?
I don't fucking have a gun or own a gun.
Okay. I don't think you do. I know you don't own one. Okay. I need to know where that gun came from.
I don't have. What the fuck are you talking about?
The gun you were sitting on.
I was sitting on.
The face you make when you know for a fact you do not own a gun, you've never had possession of a gun, and the police are blatantly lying, and they have nothing.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Over there in his house.
The face you make when your friend may or may not own an illegal gun that you may or may not know about, and now it's time to shut the fuck up again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because Aaron says it wasn't his.
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you about the whole thing. But you gotta help me out too. So I'm willing to go to the prosecutor, I'm willing to go to the parole officer and say, this guy's a good guy, he helped me out.
And like most great minds, Jeff isn't as dumb as he might appear. There are several times where he almost falls for the bullshit and just talks for the sake of talking before immediately catching himself and realizing what the cops are trying to do.
Aaron know you're there?
Pretty sure he did, yeah. I mean, he might have been asleep, but that's where I was staying that night.
What time did you get there?
No. You know what? I'm not answering that question.
I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison.
Fuck, it looks like I am if you're gonna charge me with some bogus shit. You guys don't, I mean, what do you got really? That I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were fucking swarming the area and they
Which door did you come out of?
I came out of the front door. You know what? I'm not saying. Fucking dog going crazy. You know what? I'm done. I'm done, man. Fuck this. I'm not even answering. All this shit that I just said is gonna be fucking written in the discovery now, right?
What? You haven't said nothing. You halfway know the system, how things work, and you halfway don't.
I half-ass know that the only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Yeah.
And I got it. But now I want a Butterfinger. Wow.
You're not getting it.
I can't finish it.
I got things to do.
Butterfinger.
I didn't promise you that. I said we'd see what happens. Alright? Like I said, if you haven't helped me out at all, why should I help you out? I got you, so that's good enough.
And that is the last time Jeff was interviewed while he was in custody. So the whole time, the police wasted all their time trying to get any evidence they could to pin him directly to the robbery. And the whole time, he just pretended he was the model politician, just talking a whole bunch while saying absolutely nothing. And drinking free Cokes that the cops paid for. Now the big question that remains is, what happened to Jeff? There's a few theories that people have of what happened after this situation. Some people say he was released 12 hours later with all charges dropped. Other people say he cleaned his life up and is now working for Coca-Cola as an executive because he loved their product so much. But what really happened? I say, let's ask Jeff himself.
Hello, fans of all sorts and whatever. It's me, Jeff. I did not get released 12 hours later. I got a parole violation. A long story short, I got fucked pretty good, but it was only 2 years. I did the pussy thing and I pled out. I should have took it to trial. I should have, but when you got a record like mine, you can't.
It turns out, before this whole ordeal happened to him, Jeff fancied himself a bit of a musician, and believe it or not, actually has a YouTube channel where he would upload his music. And you can go there right now and listen to all of his songs, such as his smash hit, Hot Water.
I'm out of hot water, I'm out of hot water, I'm out of hot water, I'm out of hot water. I cannot take a shower.
Now, to be honest with you, it's kind of unclear whether or not Jeff is still a heroin addict or not. In a lot of his videos on his channel, he seems clean-shaven, upbeat, and happy, not strung out at all. In other videos, not so much. So Jeff, if you by some miracle come across this video and are watching it right now, I have one message for you, sir. Number one, if you cleaned up, congratulations, you're an awesome human being. Keep it up. We all love you. We all rooted for you. And if you're having trouble staying clean and becoming clean, the only advice I could give you is an old Japanese proverb: if you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. And thus ends the story of the legend of Jeff, letting us all know that even in the most dire of situations, if you just remain calm and keep your wits about you, you cannot be tricked into screwing yourself over more than you've already been screwed. So that's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Ta-ta, farewell, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because if you don't, I'll send naked pictures of myself doing the Buffalo Bill dance to your mom.